They say life is the greatest teacher because first you take the test and then you learn the lesson. So then why don't we have more patience? Then why are we allowing ourselves to be subject to anxiety? Instead, why aren't we making space? Essentially giving ourselves grace to learn, to improve, to reflect, to experience something that we've never experienced. In fact, it's almost as though we put ourselves in this sense of insanity because we do the same thing expecting different results, and then sometimes expecting different results while doing the same things, or perhaps nothing at all. Listen, the fact of the matter is that you're going to make mistakes. You're not perfect. You are what we call human, just like the rest of us. So, what kind of measurement or what kind of ridicule are you holding yourself with? When I think about grace and I think about space, I think of possibility and I think of opportunity. And I think oftentimes we strike ourselves out of a situation because perhaps we feel as though we're not enough. Perhaps we don't feel like we deserve another chance. Or perhaps we've looked to our left and our right. We looked at what's in front of us and definitely have looked what's behind us and said, hey, am I not worthy? Well, I'm here to remind you, God ain't done. We just getting started. It made me think of the track God Ain't Done. It's by Miles Minnick, Sam Rivera, and DJ Malski. Sometimes you got to bring God in your situation and realize that it's not meant for you to handle it all by yourself. Now you say, Dawn, well, wait a minute. What if I'm not religious? Hold up, slow down, Jim Shoe. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about a faith or a belief, something outside of you. Whatever that piece that's saying, you know what? It's going to be good. Or what is that piece that you realize that there's nothing more than you can do. So guess what? You got to sit back so you can be good. You got to remind yourself, my God ain't done. We just getting started. And when you invite God or another entity outside of you where you are not in control, well, heck, you can say, if my God's in it, then you know it's big because it's outside of you. So remember, and I quote, God ain't done with you, even if they try to cancel you out. And even if that person is you. All right, it's that damn dawn like the break of day. And get tuned in to Vitamin D Live. Happy Thursday! Ooh, child, I'm feeling like a new woman. Hey, Miss Mine, I see you on Facebook. How you doing over there? I want to welcome anybody else that is tuning in, watching on live. I am saying hey. Look, I don't know how to act. I got my hair done. Why is it we feel as though we are a new person? You get your hair done, you get your hair cut, you get those nails done. You get your new outfit, your new shoes. You might be riding around in your new car with a fresh wash. You just feel like a new thing. And you know, it had been a minute. But honey, I feel snatched and I feel good. Um, I hope you're doing good. And I hope you had a moment to listen to the vitamin D and realize that God ain't done with you yet. I don't know what you've experienced or what you're going through, but I hear a lot of people keep talking about, well, life is life and life been life. And what do I say? If you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. If you can look up, you can get up. Your location is not your destination. We got Alvin in the building. Hello, Pastor. I'm so excited about this conversation that I'm going to bring to you today. I got some information from the news desk. Of course, I got some resources that you all have emailed me and texted me. And in case, vitamin D at Dawn, daispeaks.com. Resources and information with the community that can be for us, by us. And I got a vitamin D advice letter. And then after that, I'm opening up the phone lines because I got something I want to talk about. Now, if you are following me on Facebook, you perhaps see me post up a video. I want to talk about trauma. I want to talk about conversation. I want to talk about the whole idea of us living in a space where we aren't necessarily talking about what's going on with us. And as a result of that, that is causing generational curses. As a result of that, we realize that we have various relationships in our lives that are experiencing some sort of tension simply because we haven't talked, simply because we haven't addressed the mess. So, I don't know who here right now, but if you want to have a conversation with some real people right now, then I'm saying I need you to pull up on me. Okay? Please, I want to make room for you just like you've made room for me. And I got to call it gratitude. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Thank you so much. Hey, Latasha, I see you, girl. Tasha coming from Long Beach in the house. I read your information and I have to remember to read it again. I have my PSA packet. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I am going to jump right in from front of the news desk because I have some information and some stories to talk about. We're talking about what's happening in our nation, what's happening in our state, or perhaps what's happening with a person near you. Now, something that has happened recently. You remember the story that was reported of the 26-year-old woman who was at Disneyland? She got arrested in front of her children. The children were crying profusely, saying ayúdame, which is help me in Spanish. All of this was captured on video. All of this was plastered on social media. I'm talking about folks have the pictures. I mean, the happiest place on earth, and you have children crying with their mother. Many have raised the idea, well, Dawn, well, not Dawn, other person, people, conversation. Was the arrest necessary? Well, on the heels of that story, I have something else for you. This was just announced. It was on KTLA. Disneyland is bringing back discounts on kids' tickets. That's right. Beginning October 22nd, guests can purchase kids' tickets for as low as $50. And this is per child per day. And this is valid from January 7th through March 2020. I'm sorry, March 20th, 2025. Now, the ticket deal is available for children's age 3 to 9. Guests can also upgrade the tickets to the park hopper tickets or add on additional services like Lightning Lane, the multi-pass, and formerly known as Disney Genie. Now, currently, 2-day, 1-day park passes have started as low as $155 per day, while kids' 3-day, 1 park pass tickets have started as cost as $130 a day. Now, as I reported with the previous woman, that's 26-year-old, remember she was trying to sneak her kids under, so they say, and they were over the age of 3. So that's something. Also, I don't know if you guys have been looking around, but we know that we are on the heels of the Olympics, right? And as a result of that, we are cleaning up the streets of LA. All of the individuals that are part of the unhoused community are finding what they once called home. This area, this space is no more. Now, I've shared with you all that I am doing some live hosting, basically on the TikTok, on the Tik. Lord, am I getting there? Jesus. Shandala ratatata. Anyway, I do luxury bag selling, and all times I do shoe selling. I sell that to say at this location where I'm working at, usually there has been a whole row of unhoused people. And it is kind of like an old neighborhood. And I recently seen, I was just there earlier today, and it's all cleaned up. The question has become, where are they going to go? Well, one city in California is no longer eligible to receive state housing and homelessness funds. Pull up. This is according to KTLA. The city of Norwalk is no longer eligible to receive state housing and homelessness funds after the State Department of Housing and Community Development revoked its compliance with the housing element law. Additionally, the city can no longer deny certain affordable housing projects, and this is according to Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, the announcement comes weeks after the city extended its oh, moratorium. Child by on emergency shelters for the homeless, single room occupancy, and transitional housing. Now, a day earlier, Governor Gavin Newsom threatened the city with a potential lawsuit if the ordinance wasn't reversed. Now it says after the state has provided cities and counties with unprecedented funding to address the homelessness crisis, it is beyond cruel that Norwalk would ban the building of shelters while people are living on the city streets. This crisis is urgent, and we can't afford to stand by as communities turn their backs on those in need. No more excuses. Every city, including Norwalk, must do its part to allow state housing laws. What do you think about that? How do you feel about that? Now, we know that we got Big Kev, Small Gestures, Big Smiles, who was on Me with FM Dial, who was very candid about his experience of being unhoused in the community. And now he has a thing where he does, if I spot him, I got him. He sees somebody without shoes, clothes, hats, sneakers, and he's going to go ahead and provide that with them. But here is the question. We have to realize in some areas, I'm not saying that we've heard a lot in LA, but there are individuals who are unhoused, who are attacking individuals. Some individuals are being sexually assaulted. If I'm not mistaken, I was just reading a story or I came across it of a woman who was sexually assaulted. An unhoused guy who was mentally unstable had sexually assaulted more than two, I believe it was three elderly women that came forth and reported it. Now, here's the question. We can't leave our people out on the street. Okay? That's what we know for sure. Now, if we have funding and we have housing in place, and individuals don't want to go to the housing, don't want to stay in the housing, what are we supposed to do? Because we have to realize that each said individual, or some at least, are an adult. They have their free will. They have to report up there if they want, and if times they don't. So what do we do in this instance? What does this look like? Now, this Norwalk City Council adopted the ordinance on August 6th, putting the moratorium on various establishments, including emergency shelters, along with transitional and supportive housing. Now, in September, the City Council voted to extend it without discussion. Before City Council members voted on the extension, HCD sent city officials a notice of violation and corrective action letter regarding the ordinance. So, this is something to think about. Now, another thing that's thinking about now, this is basically happening on the East Coast and probably happening with us a lot, but especially where we get our imports. We've all heard about the strikes that's happening in the docks, right? Where the workers are demanding more pay. And if they aren't working, all of our goods are on delay as a country, where a lot of materials, products, goods are imported. What happens if it stops before it gets to us? Have you thought about what that looks like for food, for clothing, for jobs? Like I said before, I was talking where I do the live hosting for the bags, and we were in there and they were talking about the fact there was an issue because a lot of the luxury bags that we're getting in, well, they're getting stopped at the docks. The union representing 45,000 striking U.S. dock workers at East and Gulf Coast ports has reached a deal to suspend a 3-day strike until January 15 to provide time to negotiate a new contract. The union, the International Longshoremen's Association, is to resume working immediately. I said immediately. Both sides also reached agreement on wages, but no details were given. Now, according to a joint statement from the ports and union Thursday night, the union went on strike early Tuesday after its contract expired in a dispute over pay and the automation of tasks at the ports from Maine to Texas. The strike came at the peak of the holiday shopping season at 36 ports that handle about half the cargo from ships coming into and out of the United States. Say what? Now, the walkout raised the risk of shortages of goods on store shelves if it lasted more than a few weeks, but also retailers had stocked up or shipped its items early in anticipation of the work stoppage. Now, the strike came at the peak of the holiday season, like I just said. It raised, that was redundant. So, yes, what are your thoughts on that? Now, I don't know if you were attuned or tuned in. What was this? On Tuesday, did you hear the audio I played of the whistleblower? You don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, all I'm saying is there needs to be some sort of wake up call. If you don't believe, you better ask somebody or ask somebody else. Now, I was wondering if we were on the fence because of what was happening at the docks, if there was more stuff going on. I am going back in my phone right now and I'm going to play this audio. A whistleblower from the FBI had an important message for folks, an important message that some people might get a little nervous. Some people like to get a little scared, but listen, don't say I didn't tell you so. This whistleblower is urging that Americans to vote for one, arm themselves, stock up 3 to 4 months of food and supplies, and most importantly, pray. Take a listen. Oh no, you guys can't hear it? Oh man, this entire time. Let me see. I'm gonna try another way to play it. All right. I'm glad somebody said something because I was wondering. I said, well, where are the reactions? All right, let me go ahead and play it once more time. I'm gonna try it from my computer. Let me know if you all can hear this. All right. You still can't hear this. Well, I'll be dog. Okay. Well, let me bring this down. I'm surprised that it's not showing up or you can hear it here. But basically, this FBI whistleblower said, hey, wait a minute. Y'all better wake up and pay attention. Wake up and pay attention. You better stock up on your food because we aren't being informed of everything. I got the video right here. I am just stunned as to why it's not playing through. Let me see. Let me see what I got for you. Let me see. I got my audio connection. Oh my gosh. You didn't see it, hear it because we weren't connected properly. Lord, let me get my team together. All right. I love a good little message. Now, you should be able to hear it now. So take a listen. This is what the whistleblower had to say.
I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them. Since this is a warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve, and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce. It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. And as a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions, that's for everybody, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day.
Did you catch it? Did you catch it? Because it's hot. This is the kind of conversations we need to be realistic with. These are the things that we need to talk about, especially when it comes about our livelihood, when it comes about our community. There is always something underlining. So, how does that make you feel? When you get moments when you got things happen at the dock, now granted, it has been suspended since January, but it's no secret what they're talking about with the food. It's no secret why Governor Gavin Newsom just did a recall and signed a bill that said, hey, we cannot sell any more food that contains red dye number 40 and 5 other chemicals. It's nothing shocking that you got individuals or young kids doing breakouts, losing their lives because they eating ramen noodles. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Dun dun dun. I don't know the rest, but it's time to wake up. How does that make you feel? Okay. Well, if that doesn't wake you up enough, we know that the holiday seasons are about. And here is something to talk about. Did you know that Southern California police seized nearly 10,000 stolen gift cards? Pull up because you might be purchasing a gift card and ain't nothing on it. Now, police in Southern California have uncovered a scam in which thousands of gift cards were stolen from stores across the region. In a post on Instagram on Wednesday, the Chino Police Department said an arrest was made after an investigation into a large scale scam was wrapped up. While working with security terms and and local law enforcement agencies, the department discovered the thefts occurred at more than 250 department stores across San Bernardino, Los Angeles, San Diego, and Orange counties in just 1 month span. Now, upon execution of the search warrant, about 9,500 stolen gift cards were seized. A photo was shared by Chino police, showed stacks of stolen gift cards from stores like Target, Nordstrom, the Home Depot, Lululemon, and ePay. Now, the suspect was only identified as an individual from El Monte, was arrested on suspicion of multiple charges and was booked in county jail. Now, the Chino Police Department warned shoppers to be careful when purchasing gift cards if their card's packaging appears to be tampered with or if the pin sticker on the back has been removed. There is a likelihood that the card may be part of a scam. Well, I be damned. Say what? Say what? Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. Who would have ever thought? You have so many ways that you got to think of different things when it comes to the scam. I mean, damned if it ain't no resources. You call yourself being really nifty, giving somebody an opportunity to purchase what they need for their birthday, for their holiday, for their celebration, or what have you. And there's nothing on the card. Now, I'm just wondering, how did the brother slip up? How did they come across all these dang on gift cards? I mean, we talking about over 10,000. And let's just really think about this here. We're talking about Lululemon. We're talking about Nordstrom. Now, what they did not say, hold on, what they did not say, what was the damn cash value? Okay. I want to know how much money was on the table because when you talk about a Nordstrom, you can get up to the thousands. Well, no, it got at least 5 on it. And they got caught like, yo, you just be slipping. You falling. You can't get up. I think I'm slipping. I'm falling. I got to get up. You know I'm slipping. I'm falling. I got to get up. I don't know. I just start going off. Anybody want to talk to me about any of these stories? It is a crying shame. I want to hear from you. Call me in the studio. Call me in the studio right now. Who want to call me? Call me in the studio. Miss Maya, she says crying shame. Uh-huh. It is a crying shame. I got Alvin in here. Alvin says, say what? The app didn't pick up what your emoji was. And hello to my Aunt Brenda. She recently celebrated a birthday. The big 7-5, y'all. Throw up some birthday cakes for my Aunt Brenda in the house. And I want to encourage you to call me in the studio if you have any comments on the stories I just read. 818-461-5432. 818-461-5432. Let me know your thoughts. Put some comments on there. I gave you a couple of stories. We're talking about in Norwalk. They're taking away the funds when it comes down to those who aren't housed. I just told you about Disneyland. They went ahead and said, hey, now we're going to offer a discount on kids' tickets. This is on the heels of the recent story about the 26-year-old woman who I told you got escorted out of Disneyland in handcuffs as her kids was crying. Say what? Let me know what you want. Are you concerned Are you concerned what's happening over at the dock? With the goods, has your business been affected? I mean, it was only 2 days, but some people already felt the shock. Now, I told you they are suspending this up until January 15th. Then we're going to have a new conversation. So then the question becomes, are you stocking up and doing what you got to do? Hey, Dot, thank you so much. Call me in the studio, y'all. I want to hear from you. Don't be scared. 818-461-5432. I told you we back. Dawn Day here to make it do what it do. Hey. How? Now let me get to some resources. Where's my cell phone at? Miss Felicia, she went ahead and texted me a message really quickly. Oh, I just saw your message, Alvin. I just picked up my phone. I want to give out some information. You know, I'm all about making sure that if you are in the community, if you have some good news, if you have some resources to make sure we share. Well, coming up this Saturday, this is in Los Angeles. I don't know if Chuck is here. Chuck usually give me the information that's happening in the South. My phone is froze real quick, but anywho, this Saturday, Fannie Lou Hammer birthday celebration and voter education event is happening right off of Crenshaw next to the McDonald's. 4276 Crenshaw Boulevard. There will be light refreshments. It's happening between 4 and 6. Now, we have of the Fannie Lou Hammer Institute, the director, Akili will be there, as well as a poetry performance from Yasmin Monet Watkins. Now, I recognize her from the social medias. I don't know why am I saying the social medias, y'all. Oh, but yes, I got her information from the social media. And I've been looking at her poetry, but there is a voting event that is happening, taking place. Also, is Latasha still here? Latasha sent me coming from the LBC, sent over some information in regarding Sunshine Community Resource Organization. This is an organization in Long Beach. If you're in Long Beach, pull up. They offer services that can help with supervised child visitation monitoring, mobile AHA, BLS, and CPR certification course, domestic violence classes, parenting skills, life skills, anger management classes, food giveaway, mobile live scanning fingerprinting, mobile drug testing, registered process server, court mandated community service hours, ordained minister services, chemical dependency classes, and free California ID application for low income clients. This is happening right down in Long Beach at the Sunshine Community Resource Organization. Our girl Latasha says, I'm here. She pulls up, Tasha, call me real quick. Because don't act like I wasn't with you during the holiday. And I came down there to the community center myself. Can you call me in the studio? Call me in the studio and tell the good people about the work that you're doing. You made sure that you sent me this information on Tuesday and said, Dawn, can you please list this out and shout this out to the listeners and the viewers? Well, I want you to call me right now. 818-461-5432. Don't be shy. 818-461-5432. She said, okay, I am. She said, okay, I am. Oh, and this must be her. Hey, girl, hey, talk to me.
Hey, Don, how are you?
Well, I'm good now that I'm hearing from you. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored like the rest.
Oh, you better talk that talk. It's good to hear your voice.
Yes, I heard you. I can barely hear you just a little bit. Can you speak up a little bit louder?
Okay, let me see. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay. We're working on what we got to do with the equipment, but I know everybody can hear you well. Can you tell me the good information you got in regards to Sunshine Community Resource Organization Center?
Well, everyone, we provide services to everyone, no matter what, from Lancaster to the Long Beach area. Some services are free and some services you may have to pay a fee, but we're always doing a food giveaway on the fourth Thursday of every month. We teach, as Dawn Dai said, CPR, supervised visitation monitoring, domestic violence for the battered and the victims. We also help out with housing. If you guys would like to go to the website to help you out better, you can go to www.sunshinecommunity2015.org.
Sunshine.
Did everybody get it?
I
Because
am
I
putting
can't
it down.
hear myself either. So
Yes. Can you hear yourself now?
Yeah, I can hear now.
Okay. Sunshine
Once again,
Community. I
it's
got that down. 2015.
www.sunshinecommunity2015.org. And thank you so much, Dawn Dai, for coming out to give out toys to the children with us. We're looking forward to seeing you this year. We have a Christmas toy giveaway, you guys, with Dawn Dai that's going to be present on December 20th. Please mark your calendars. December the 20th from 12 to 5. The address will be 4017 Long Beach Boulevard, Long Beach, California, 90807. Once again, 4017 Long Beach Boulevard, Long Beach, California, 90807. Or feel free to reach me as well on my cell, area code 626-617-0309. Once again, 626-617-0309. Hope to hear from everyone soon. Please tell a friend. Thank you.
Well, that was a commercial in itself. I heard
I
that.
know.
Okay. You better catch it while it's. Oh my gosh! Well, thank you so much. We're gonna be talking about more stuff for commercials later, but thank you, Latasha. Thank you, and I guess I'm gonna be seeing you on December 20th.
Yes. Yes. And can you help us out again? Pass out the toys?
Absolutely, I would love to.
Okay, then. Thank you, Don. I'm going to log back in.
All right.
Have a wonderful day, you guys.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Oh my gosh. And there it is, Latasha. We're going to be doing something. Yes, I did pull up. Oh man. And I just want to thank Latasha so much for believing in me, having me come up to the kids. It was an extreme joy. And if that's not enough, I have some more information. A great organization. We are 30 days away. The African American Male Wellness Agency is handling and hosting their third annual Black Men's Wellness Day, where we employing our Black men to know your numbers, because when you know better, you can do better, and therefore you can be better. The fact of the matter is that Black men are dying from preventable diseases, and guess what? You can be part of the solution. Come out to Jesse Owens Park, yes, the Michelle and Barack Obama Sports Complex, also known as Rancho Cienega Park, on November 2nd at 7 a.m. between 12 p.m. for Black Men's Wellness Day. You can walk for your dad, your brother, your uncle, your nephew, whomever, even your son. This is a free family event. KJLH will be out there. The LA Sentinel will be out there. We got Black Pages that are going to be out there. LA Focus is going to be out there. Johnson and Johnson's is going to be out there. I mean, this is the most fun that you will have at a doctor's appointment. And guess what? You are walking, you are having fun in order to save your life. Each one teach one. Well, guess what? Each one reach one. And that's happening on Saturday, November 2nd. Now, the reason why I'm so excited about this organization is that I had them on the FM dial. I'm doing some work with Jay Barnes, who is in the chat. If you don't see, just scroll down, you'll see his name. Make sure you contact and you reach out, because if you know somebody that needs to know somebody, well, let's help somebody. And I got another thing. There's a Real Men, Real Talk that's happening October 17th. We know that men are suffering from emotional distress 20% more than their counterparts. And you need somebody to talk to, my brother, somebody that can understand you, somebody that speaks the language that you speak, that can look you in the eyes and say, I got you. October 17th, I'll make sure I put the link in the chat, but this is all happening with the African American Male Wellness Agency. And I want to give you the website so that you can find more information about it. It's la.aawellness.org. Okay. That's la.aawellness.org. You see Jay Barnes, hit him up, stalk him, tell him that Dawn Day sent you. Okay. In fact, Jade, I guess we need to talk about you coming up on here so you can talk about the walk. Okay. So it's the real deal. Now, Mr. Officer, Mrs. Officer, are you looking for a job? If you are, I got some information for you. R&B Global Security is now accepting applications Monday to Friday between 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., located down in Long Beach at 1355 Redondo Avenue, Suite 9. Now, you'll need to bring some documents with you. You'll need a valid ID. You'll need your Social Security card. You will need your guard card and your certification. If you have any questions or to schedule an appointment, feel free to contact 310 438 3044. Again, that's 310-438-3044. Now, I don't know if we got any senior citizens in the house. We know the rent is too damn high, but how about them damn bills too? I got something for you. Now, seniors, you have to be 60 years old and plus. Do you need help with your utility bills? Well, if you need some help with your LADW and so-called bill, well, we have some discounts available. They can help you apply for some rebates and apply for financial assistance to pay them. Okay, this is happening in Van Nuys up in the valley. The address is 17400 Victory Boulevard. The zip code is 91406. 91406. You'll need to bring a few items, okay? So tell a loved one. One, you need a current state ID or a driver's license. Both current bills, your electric and your gas bill. We need to put the proof in the pudding. Don't give anything that does not have all the pages. Third, rent. We need a proof of your mortgage receipt, your most current. We need to know, and I keep saying they need to know how much you're going to be paying and the proof of your current household income. Again, want to be sure to help those in need, those who cannot help themselves. This is for our senior citizens who need help paying their gas and electric bills. Now, this is in partnership with LADWP. And if you need the information, I would like for you to call 818-708 4759. Again, that is 818-708 4759 or 818-708-6603. That's 818-708-6603. This is for any individuals who are needing any support, any type of help when it comes to their electric and their gas bill. And since we are in the month of October, there's a hiring spree happening. They say if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Pull up family. It's happening on the October 24th. What day is that? I don't know. I don't have my calendar. I need my calendar up because Miss Felicia got anyway, stay focused on. Um, East Los Angeles Civic Center is hosting a hiring shopping spree from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. 4801 East 3rd Street in Los Angeles. The zip code is 922. Bring your resume and dress to impress. Nothing less but the best. Hey. Now, what you can expect is to connect with employers, explore a variety of job openings, on the spot interviews, get supportive help, and leave with opportunities. If you want information about that, check out the website hiringspreela.org. That's hiringspreela.org. And this is sponsored by America's Works. Now, I gave this information a bit ago, and here's another reminder. You know, it's that time of year again, cold and flu season. Um, if you had no idea, here is we are giving away COVID-19 tests if you are going to sign up at the USPS.com website. Each order includes 4 individual rapid antigen COVID-19 tests, including the extended shelf life and updated expiration dates. Now, orders will ship as early as the 30th. I got mine on the 1st, right when I came from the show on that Tuesday. It was at the door. At first, I got excited because I was like, oh, when you see a package at your door, I was like, oh, who thought of me? Girl, you thought of yourself. Okay. You thought of yourself. I need a repeat, I guess. Miss Mayan. This is when you call in, Miss Mayan, when you need to get updated on some information. This is where you call in and say, hey, Dawn, what was the information that you had? For the hiring spree that is happening on October 24th, located at the East Los Angeles Civic Center. The address is 4801 East 3rd Street. 4801 East 3rd Street. The zip code is 912. Don't be shocked. Pull up on me and call me 818-461-5432. Call me. Hey, Mr. Joe. Good evening to the Queen of Morning Radio. You know that made me feel good. We say we're here for a good time, not a long time. Thank you for pulling up. So here's the 411. Tuesdays and Thursdays, Vitamin D Live, 5 p.m. to 6:30 until we get our morning show. Because we know what we're working on, right? You know what we got called here to do, right? So I want to let you know now. I want to open up the phone lines. Anybody want to call me? 818-461-5432. 818-5432. I gave you all some resources information. Next up, I got the vitamin D advice letter. And then I want to open up the conversation. And I hope y'all call in because I feel like a couple of y'all can be affected or would be affected by this. I ran into an FM down listener. I went to go get my hair did. We had a conversation. We were talking about traumas. Traumas and whether or not we are dealing with them, traumas, how they are affecting our lives, traumas of how we are going to grow with them. Uh-oh, Miss my aunt uh-oh, get ready, y'all. Hold on to your nigga. Oh, hey, Aunt Brenda.
Hello, Dawn Dai, dawn to the day at the break of day. This call to take some sunshine and some love and some small smiles getting bigger and bigger as I talk to you. I'm calling from L.A., Lower Alabama, out to L.A., Los Angeles. I just called and said, holler at your girl.
Hey, sister girl.
Love, mommy. You're doing great. I'm going to shout out. Love you.
Okay, love you too. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I didn't mean to hang up, Aunt Brenda. I thought you were done. Never is my Aunt Brenda shot. She was in and out. In and out, in and out. That's my Aunt Brenda. You see how we rhyme all the time. We drop it at the drop of a dime. And our lyrics and our words will blow your mind right in time with that sunshine. Don't be blind, because I'm also fine. I only did that because my Aunt Brenda. Okay, listen. Are y'all ready for this advice letter? Okay, you hear it. I need another jingle when it's time to go into the vitamin D advice letter. But right now, this is what we got. Subject: how do I start living my life? Now, let me just say this. Oh, where I get my hair done? Shoot, they ought to pay me. I'll let you know off of here. Oh, there go my sister. Charlotte, you right in time. You're not too late. I'm about to do this advice letter and then let's pull up. See if you're around 9:00. 9:00. Give me 10 minutes to get this letter, Charlotte, and then we can still do what we got to do, baby. Let's jump into this advice letter. Subject: how do I start living my life? Oh, I forgot. When I get to this advice and letter, know that it's all about vitamin D. Vitamin D is all about shedding the light on the good and the bad, because if you want to be better and you want to do better, well, you're going to have to be able to see better. That means you're going to have to get out the shadows. That means you're going to have to step in the light. That means you're going to have to eat the meat and spit out the bones. Understand that these are my views and opinions. Take what you need and keep it moving. Dear Dawn, so I'm 32. Decent job, live in a small town in the Midwest. I have a good amount of savings, a relationship that could be healthier. She thinks I don't emote enough and I don't do it just fine, but I feel comfortable and things are good sometimes. Really, I feel like I've devolved into working, or delved into working, barely maintaining social contacts and watching shows in my free time. Could be the pandemic. That was the effect, but I also feel like this could last longer. I feel unfulfilled and alone. How do I really start living life? Honey, it's time to wake up. Now, I want to make room and make space because we all handle and deal with things differently. 2020 is when we embarked on the pandemic. We're now in 2024. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. If you want to be somebody and if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention. Now, I'm not saying this in the harsh way because you simply wrote to this letter. That means that you are waking up. That means you are walking into the light. But you have to remind yourselves in the times that you feel stuck. Remember, things function, but people live. And right now you're functioning with your day-to-day just existing. But I need you to live. Strive for something. Step out of your comfort zone. Now, you say you got a decent job, but how about we make a great job? Oftentimes, people will write in or they call in for advice. And they say, well, Dawn, how do I find out what I'm supposed to be? Oh, Dawn, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? You got to stretch out and reach. You're going to have to take a chance on yourself. Now, oftentimes, if you've been a long time vitamin D listener, can we be honest? It's supposed no secret that you guys have been on the roller coaster ride with me. It's no secret that I've talked about the ups and the downs and the all the way arounds, but we have to remind ourselves the bottom of one heel is the top of the next. And just as though we are living and not functioning beings, well, let's just think of a pulse. Up, down, up, down. Why would you think that your life would be any different? You do realize that you have survived 100% of the worst days of your life. Again, why would today be any different? And if you didn't survive today, you wouldn't know, would you? But now what you do know is that you are doing the same thing day in and day out. And you realize that time is ticking. They say time is our most valuable asset. Once it's spent, it's gone forever. You can't get this time back. You can't get this youth back. You can't get this state of your mind back. So when are you going to show up and step up and grow up? You start living by doing things that make you feel afraid. You start living by doing things you've never done before. You start living by forgiving yourself. Should we really talk on that for a minute? I think oftentimes things that get us stuck in not living is simply because we haven't stepped out of our comfort zone, simply because we have been in paralysis of fear. If a caterpillar was so afraid to stretch out of this encasement of darkness and closure, we would never see the wonders and the beauty of a butterfly. If a tadpole was so comfortable by being this little tadpole just swimming in the water, he'd never know what it means to jump on it, to hop to the next thing. If we have beings that are physically able, and this is not going to anybody that has any stipulations, didn't understand the concept of crawling to walk to run, then how would you know? It's going to require you to exercise some muscles, and it's going to require you to be uncomfortable because the magic happens outside of the comfort zone. The best thing that you can do is take a chance on yourself, because you have more confidence and in faith that this job is going to provide you for your needs the next day in and out, not realizing at the end of the day, you are just a number. Are we having a real conversation? And if we know that the only way out is death, you best believe I'm going to live it while I can. So here's what I say to you, darling. 32-year-old, decent job, living in a small town in the Midwest. Well, I'm a Detroit girl. And I had to realize I had to take a chance on myself. And what that first looked like, I went to Howard. No family. Some people I went to high school with that I knew out there. And then I took a chance on myself. All I had was the promise of a fellowship. That was 3 months. But I knew the vision was either to move to New York or LA. And guess what? I moved to New York. I made it work. Then it came to me. My time in New York was up and I had this opportunity, this window. Think of it as my windshield. I saw the sunny LA. My sister would tell you, I was down in Vegas and she was celebrating her 30th. And I said, I want to live someplace where there's beaches and palm trees. And I had to jump up. I jumped up to get up and I moved to LA and I've been making it work. And honey, we've had our ups and downs. Hey, we experienced it. And the best thing I can say is live. So how does that sound? Live your life. And living your life simply means taking a chance on yourself. So that's the first step. Now, I hope I didn't come off harsh in the beginning because you're on the right path. I think the first step to seeking an answer is first to ask the question. And doing it so even if your voice shakes. Because what do I say? If you can look up, you can get up. If you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. And guess what? Your location is not your destination. Yeah, you're located in the Midwest right now in this little city. But guess what? It's somewhere over and yonder. All right? All right, y'all. Y'all ready to have a conversation? Call me in the studio right now. Call me in the studio. Here's the number 818-461-5432. 818-461-5432. Now, I was interested in having a conversation that spearheaded, just for some coincidences of what happened on yesterday or the during the day. And then I got home and I was talking to my sister, and it really evoked another conversation. And I wanted to bring it to the vitamin D family. Now, listen, some things are going to get uncomfortable. Just by the looks of it, we got people that are on different generational timelines. So, what we did in one generation may be different from the next. But who's to say which one is best? Now, Charlotte is still driving, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to be talking on the phone while driving. If we don't, we do it all the time. But if she were comfortable, I would say, call in. But it's fine. We're on the go. But what I want to talk to you about today is no secret. Life is life and for a lot of folks out here. Okay. I was talking. Charlotte said I can talk. Okay. Y'all want to talk to my sister? Uh I'm gonna call her right now. Now she's driving. Luckily, I know she'll be able to hear me. Let's just see how this goes. I'm calling Charlotte right now. Y'all hear the phone ringing? Hold on one second, Chuck.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello? Is this Carlotta? Uh-oh. Is the service bad?
Is it? Am I coming in clearly?
Now I can hear you. Is this safe to talk to you while you're driving on the road?
I think so. I'm
All right. Well, we got it at the right time. I'm glad you told me. Now, at any point, if it does come back, just let me know if you can't hear me.
well. I'm getting a little feedback.
Did you cut off the Facebook? Are you still watching me on Facebook?
Well, yes, I am. Let me cut off the
Yeah,
Facebook.
cut off the Facebook. You gotta
Got
cut
it,
off the
got it.
Facebook. Now, I was gonna have it where, because I'm hoping when the callers call in, you should be able to hear. We should be good. We working. Okay. So now, is there any feedback now?
No, everything's perfect.
Okay, perfect. So now we in the last 30 minutes of the show. And so I was briefly teasing how I had a conversation or how we were talking last night. And we talked about an array of things. We talked about trauma, what it was like, whether or not folks talked about it, and the whole idea of talking too much and telling your business, but being able to lie into positivity with ourselves. I'm going everywhere. Charlotte, help me out here.
Oh, we talked about self-talk
Mm,
and how self-talk, you have to, there are 5 steps, and please don't quote me, I don't have all the steps, but once you get through the steps, it's telling yourself, I am great. Even if you don't think you're great, you keep telling yourself until you believe it. Or I have quit a habit, whether it's smoking or eating sweets. I don't eat those anymore. I don't desire those things anymore. Even if you do, is still desire those things. So that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, and it stems over because I had went to get my hair done. Everybody like, Dawn, you got your hair done. Yes, I went to Joloff. If you didn't catch it, too late. I'm not giving free advertising. We need to talk about payment later. Anyway, and I came across FM dial listener, April, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I said, how you doing? She said, life has been lifing. And that has been a tagline that so many of us have experienced, that life is lifing. And it's just without going too much in information, a relationship, somebody near and dear to her, it was strained and she was working on repairing it. And she realized there was so much friction between this relationship because of this said individual, this loved one, was actually depressed, actually grew up in some trauma. And we talked about how the self-talk correlates with that is more so because, one, being honest about what we've experienced. Two, even when life is not feeling its best, how do you put yourself in the self-talk to make sure that you can optimistically go throughout? But here's the thing, Charlotte, a lot of us aren't talking. Now, I know that you studied psychology in school, so you have a bit of a background on that. What is your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts?
I think the hardest thing to do is looking in the mirror and admitting your faults and when you were wrong. And I heard you talk about forgiving ourselves and also forgiving others. Sometimes when we start unpacking things, there are things that come up that we had no idea that were there. And I often liken it to like
I don't know, going on vacation and you come home, maybe you leave your suitcase for a few days. Some people unpack as soon as they get home. Some people wait a minute. And you start unpacking that suitcase. And next thing you know, you find a shirt that you forgot you had. Maybe you looked for it and put it behind, but now this shirt is there. And that's the same thing with our emotions and dealing with the man or woman in the mirror.
Mm. Now, for those who are listening and even those who are watching right now, y'all didn't have to pack a bag before, right? You went on vacation, you've traveled somewhere. Now you've gotten back to said start wherever you started at, whether that's home. And you've left the suitcase on the ground because you don't feel like getting to it. Perhaps you're in a rush, you got something else to do. And you realize it just stays stuck in there. And you're constantly trying to find stuff, throwing stuff around, moving things around, trying to find something. Heck, you probably even forgot that you got things right there. It's collecting dust, it's getting in the way, it's causing clutter, and most importantly, it's causing confusion. Can anybody
We
relate?
do that with our emotions. Sorry to interject, but
No,
we
go
do that
ahead.
with our emotions often.
Hey, Uncle Michael.
Because,
Yes, we do this with our emotions. Why is that?
because it's hard to face the things that bother us. It's hard to face, it's hard to be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that. Or you know what, I was wrong. And this year, especially, I know with myself, we talked about this last night, just being vulnerable. It's uncomfortable. It feels naked. It's like walking outside without your clothes on. And whereas for some that could be freeing, for others, you feel completely exposed, and that's uncomfortable. Who wants to be uncomfortable? I certainly don't. But in order to grow, we have to, the most beautiful things go through the most pressure. We've all heard that before. Diamonds. I mean, look at I can't think of the flower, but it grows in the mud.
Oh, it is? I was thinking of the rose that from the concrete, but I don't know about the flower that goes to the mud.
There are different things that go through a lot, and they're some of the most beautiful things. Some of the most beautiful and colorful things are the most poisonous. I won't go down the rabbit hole, but just highlighting the fact that, like you said, life is lifing, and when life gets to lifing, we have to look at ourselves and say, hey, what do I need to do differently? And sometimes those things catch up with us, and it's decisions that we've made, things that we've said, people that we've let go, or people we need to let go. And it can get rough. It gets tough. But that's when you really have to pull your bootstraps on. And sometimes it's hard. And say, I'm going to be intentional about today, and I'm going to do this today. And set yourself up for success.
And doing that self-talk that you initially talked about being delusional what it is that you want.
Yes.
You got to be outside of your mind for your dreams. When you're looking around and what the results that you cannot see, you got to rely on the vision. What is that vision? What is that moment? What is that serene feel that you feel when you visualize the life that you want? And something else that you said, Uncle Michael, Aunt Linda, Deborah, everybody sends their loves. Thank you, guys. What?
Aww.
Charlotte says, "Aw." I think it's also a thing that we don't do enough. And I know we got a couple of generations on here. And I hope that, we still have the phone lines open for anyone to call and join the conversation with Charlotte and I. It's 818-461-5432. One thing that I don't feel as though we're talking about enough is the fact that there isn't enough talking. Yes. Growing up, you always say, keep your business to yourself. Everybody ain't got to know your business. Don't tell anybody your business because they're going to wish negativity on you. Now, I know we were talking about this. There's two folds of this. Ain't no sense of talking about the milk that done spilled over, especially if you want it to be cleaned up. But at the same time, we need to visualize it cleaned up, act like it's cleaned up, walk and talk like it's cleaned up so that it can be cleaned up. Charlotte, can you make it make sense?
Clean it up.
Talk about it.
Clean it up. Like you said, there's no sense in crying over spilled milk. But at the same time, sometimes that spilled milk, there's still some milk in the cracks and the crevices, and it starts to smell. And it's like, well, what is that? What is that? I smell something. Using an analogy, but I smell something. It's like I cleaned it up, but it's still there because you didn't clean. You wiped it up. just a little bit. You just grazed over it.
Mm.
You didn't get down on your knees and really scrub. So if we're liking it to spilled milk. So when that milk spills, we really got to get it up, because we know milk can smell if it sits for too long.
Yes, it can.
So it's really getting down to the nitty gritty, and like going back to that suitcase, when you start unpacking things and you realize, well, that really bothered me, and being brave enough. I know I have avoided conversations, things that have hurt me, things that have bothered me, people that, for whatever reason, but that's not a healthy way of living, because you think you're getting rid of the baggage, but you're actually just carrying it with you into the next phase of life.
Bag
and then it catches
lady.
up with you.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yes. Bag lady, you gon' hurt your back. Dragging all them bags
like that.
Like that.
Because I guess nobody what? All you must hold on to.
Nobody ever told you. Okay. Sorry.
I didn't want to mess you up.
Got me in the groove real quick.
But all you must hold on to is you. And I'm looking at a comment. I have a listener viewer commented right now. Latasha Jackson in Long Beach says, in my time, this is 1976, children must be seen but not heard.
And not heard. And that is a generational curse.
That was heavy, and I felt it because I was just talking to Eddie over here at the station, at the studio, at the office, and he was saying that at time we lacked patience.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted in the hush. So now we're in an era where we have patience and we're asking children how they feel. But when they tell us, we still tell them, well, you're too young to understand.
You know why? Would you like to know why?
I want to know why. Yeah. Do y'all want to know why?
Because we do not have the word. We don't understand. We haven't explored those feelings. So how can we teach somebody else to explore feelings that we haven't explored ourselves?
Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed.
So as adults, if we want to impart that knowledge to our younger generations, we have to allow them. Oftentimes, I know my children, their emotional intelligence, I'm impressed with it a lot. And that's what a lot of us adults lack, is emotional intelligence, because we've been taught, well, you don't stay in a child's place. Well, where is a child's place?
Where is the damn child's place at?
Now, of course, you respect your elders. I believe in that. But at the same time, me respecting my elders, and I know I might get some pushback on this, but that doesn't mean I don't get to tell you how I feel.
Well, what do you mean by that?
In a respectful way. Like my children should be able to come to me and say, Mommy, that bothered me. And we have a conversation about it, instead of me being offended and saying, well, how dare you come to me as your mother and tell me something bothered you? I'm the adult in this situation. When really that's that scared child coming out, being afraid to face something that maybe you did wrong.
And the last thing we want to hear is that something's wrong with us.
Amen.
Do you think perhaps that's even another reason why we don't talk to therapists, why we don't seek therapy, why we are afraid of counseling?
And the stigma. You have to admit that you have a problem, or something is bothering you, or something is wrong, to even seek out speaking to another person about it and unpacking that suitcase that doggone well you should have unpacked weeks ago.
And here's the thing, Charlotte, I love how you're using the analogy about the suitcase, because what we realize is that we keep carrying the baggage to every new chapter of our life, wondering why we keep hitting the same wall, wondering why we keep ourselves in the same situations, why we keep feeling the way we feel. And we said, dang, I've been going through this for how long? Well, guess what? Did you unpack your bag?
You haven't changed anything.
Catch it. Oh my God. And here, can we just be honest on another front too? And I say this to you as I say this to myself. I do. And I say, not you, Charlotte, but people, whoever, y'all know what the deal is. When you are truly ready to change, you will change. I don't give a damn what you say. You won't have a choice. You won't have a choice. Now, it just depends on how hot you need it to get, how much pressure you need to be placed on your neck for you to change. I don't know why it's so
Amen.
dramatic, Charlotte. I know.
Well, that's Dawn Day all day.
Every day, I see you guys in the chat commenting. I want to welcome you all to call in the studio. Let's all get a three-way. Talk to my sister. Talk to me. Call me right now. 818-461-5432. 818-461-5432. I don't care which generation you're a part of. I would love to hear for you to share your experience of being told to stay in a child's space, being told or being able to feel that you should not speak your emotions, and perhaps let us know how that's affected you. Do you have any other children in your life in which you found that to be affected them in any kind of negative way? I want to welcome it only if you're ready for a real conversation, because at the end of the day, life is life, and people are going through some things. And until we get to a point of just talking collectively, until we get to a point to all of us start talking, we will not start healing. And we understand in order to heal, we got to feel. Point blank. Period. And
Feel it.
but I don't always feel good, and that's the thing.
That's the part.
But it
Ding dong.
was kind of like what you said, like even in a wound. Oftentimes, what we have to realize that we will experience that even in a wound that is healing, you have to allow air to let it be through, and it's going to get itchy. Meaning it's going to be irritating because you're going to start looking in the areas where you don't want to shed the light at. You're going to start looking or having to look in the areas that are uncomfortable. You're going to have to put in the laborer's work of literally lifting and unpacking that suitcase. And if you got some clothes in there, are you ready to wash them? Catch it? Chuck, you keep saying we having a good conversation. Chuck, call me in the studio. Brenda, express yourself. Help me, somebody. Yes. Why can't I hear her sing?
Express yourself.
Express yourself indeed. I want to open that up before we wrap up out of here. Thank you so much for that conversation, because what we realize in this lack of conversation, how many of us have grown up in households where people that are our guardians, people that are responsible for taking care of us, are literally depressed. And we don't understand why the short temper. We don't understand why the house isn't normal. We don't understand why we don't go anywhere and why opportunities aren't presented, simply because, like you said, we haven't done the work within ourselves to figure out what's going on.
And let's not forget that little kid that was told to stay in their place, who maybe for one reason or another and was raised in these environments that you speak of, that child just gets larger. And more responsibilities are placed upon them. We're still that same person. Of course, life experiences, we've gotten older, we've learned other things, but have we learned emotionally how to function? And that is what's often missing. We hear about childhood trauma ad nauseum. But I think it does need to be talked about, and it does need to be ran into the ground, because we're just that little girl who grown up, maybe suppressed some things, and it comes out in our actions, it comes out in our decision making. And not until you start talking to a therapist or unpacking that suitcase or even seeking out a trusted friend, you realize, like, my goodness, this stems from a long, long time ago.
And even like I talked about before, about giving grace and space and realizing this isn't going to be the next day thing. You spend 30, 40, 50, 60, even 70 years dealing with the same thing. All right, Charlotte, we got a call in.
Oh.
Talk to me. Is this you?
Yeah, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. Charlotte, can you hear Chuck?
Hi, Chuck. I can hear Chuck.
Let me get off live. Okay, so can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
I hear y'all pretty well.
All right, Chuck, what you got to say, Chuck, about this topic of self-talk and healing within our families?
So I'm from the South, so I'm from Georgia. When we were younger, my mom would always say, listen to grown folks. It doesn't matter. They'll stop us from talking. Even if you try to talk, you're being rude and disrespectful. But as we got older and my sons and our grandchildren started doing it, they kind of leaning it back off of it. So, you know, and that kind of confused me because when we were younger, it's like our parents was more strict on this than they do the grandchildren now.
Well, for sure, because they've learned more. Their patience has gotten greater. As Dawn talked about, patience.
Yeah.
They see the world differently.
And you're right.
And how does that have you feeling?
What you say?
How does that have you feeling right now, Chuck? I think you might still have. Do you have me still open on Facebook? Because I think I hear a bit of a reverb.
No, I don't have you open on Facebook. I closed it.
Oh, okay. So how does that make you feel now? Do you feel as though that has affected you as an adult as far as healing, communication? I don't know if you have children.
So you know, I have a son and a daughter, and also, you know, the thing is with them, it's like I try to. Sometimes I do get weaned off and do things my parents taught me how to do, and then I kind of be a little lenient now, you know, as my kids got older. So I started doing a little thing, diversing them in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
So it helped me, but it didn't really hurt me. I wouldn't say it hurt me because it's like the thing is, my parents instilled in me in a good way, so I wouldn't look at it as a bad thing. And then the only reason I say that is because it's like, you know, back then versus now is a whole different generation.
That's true.
When you see that, you recognize that. That's the difference. So you see, it's just like any lesson that we've learned. I don't like the way that feels, so you might do things differently. Not that it harmed you, but you recognized, okay, I don't like that. I might tweak some things. I might take a little bit from here and a little bit from there and put it all together.
Yeah, you're right.
Think of it like a recipe. We all trying to get the recipe over for this special dish.
You took the word.
And sometimes it's going to require you to put a little bit more water. Maybe put some in to dry it out. It may take it that it has to rest a little bit, or maybe you got to step into fire and put it under the heat, but let you know that the end result is going to be amazing. Thank you so much, Chuck.
Yeah, thank you too.
All right.
Have a great evening.
You have a good night. Good night.
You too.
All right.
Bye-bye. Now, we can always rely on Chuck. That was a great comment. You know, somebody that's coming from vulnerability, coming from down the South. I saw my Aunt Linda was on here. Aunt Brenda was on here. So you guys, I'm sure, definitely different generations of what we talked about and we didn't talk about. And realizing that these traumas, these secrets, they pass on from generation to generation. But when does it stop? And, you know, just to be honest, Charlie, you know, I think we do need to make room for the little child that was affected and understanding that the comprehension of that hurt is from the little child's point of view. But we do have to step and walk into the adult and realize that now it's our responsibility to be the change that we want to see.
Amen. You cannot use that as an excuse, but trauma, the way it affects I won't go down that rabbit hole either, but I'm just going to make this comment. The way it affects the brain, it literally can affect the electrical synapses in your brain, literally. So you can be stuck, but that doesn't mean, oh, well, this happened when I was a kid. So that's why recognize that and work through it.
I think we got another caller. Not a crutch. Talk to me. Hello? Hello?
Can't hear.
Can't hear you. Somebody from Alabama. I saw 256. Going to need you to call again. I'm not sure. I think 256 is that. Let me see.
I have no idea.
Try calling again. Let me see. That is.
And I'll say this, Dawn, there are conversations that I've avoided. I said that earlier.
I know I had to face something head on. Like even today, I felt uncomfortable, but I had to share. Where it's kind of like I was in the wrong for something, and I would have uncomfortable that somebody called me out. Was like, Dawn, you were wrong on that. Let's see. Hello? Hello? Are you watching? They must be watching
Yeah.
Hello.
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 Yes, this is Aunt Linda.
Hey, Aunt
Hi,
Linda.
Linda.
Hello, how are you? You know, this goes for young people and old people. Clean it up
Clean it up.
because it hurts.
Yes.
It hurts older people. It hurts the young people. So when is it going to stop? And you know, we talk about generational curses. When are we going to clean it up?
You're right. You're
We
absolutely right.
can. And then, you know, I was sitting here listening. I can't see you now, but I was sitting here just listening to Charlotte, and I was listening to Dawn Dai. We got to clean it up.
We do. In more
because
ways
it
than
hurts.
one. Mhm.
You know, I hurt. Today, I hurt.
Mhm.
And it's not good.
No.
You know, we get depressed and we just come down. But, you know, we get back up. God brings us back up. So I just want you to know, Charlotte, I love you. Sunday,
I love you too.
I love you too. Aunt Linda, just for the listeners who may not know, just give us an idea. What is your generation that you grew up in? Like, what was the time period?
Well, I would tell you how old I am. I am 76 years old.
So you're right.
Mm. Mm.
I am 76, so you know.
And you just said
So
something
blessed.
important. You said you're still hurting. So there are things that happened to you in your childhood that you at 76 are still experiencing?
What? No, no. But it's just things that are happening today.
Mm.
It hurt.
And yeah, it still, it hurts. And things that happen, well, not, I can't picture anything that happened in my childhood that's hurt me today. I'm just talking about just daily living. Things that are happening today, things that happened yesterday, things that have happened last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it can go way back, but I can't say that there was anything that happened in my childhood that I'm hurting from. However, I will say this, things that are happening today, well, it just goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on and on. And, you know, depression brings a lot. You know, people don't look at depression, but yes, they do, because it's been talked about a lot. Depression is an illness. And
Yes, that you cannot help.
right. Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to
It's
call
not your fault.
in to let you know that I was listening. And I thank you. Yeah, like I say, not just with the young people, anyway, it's all good. It's all good. Anyway, want y'all to know, love you much. Keep it up. Keep it up. And
Love you too.
I'll let y'all go.
All right. Love you, Aunt Linda. Thank you.
Love you.
Love
Till
you.
next
Bye.
time.
Yes, till the next time. That's what she said.
That's down there in that Bama. Now that's something interesting to say. And I'm so glad that we have generations from different realms of the
From different
spectrum.
generations.
Yeah, to just really talk about like this is real and how we got to sit down. And I'm just so glad that it's not that whole thing like how we started out. Go stay in the child place, go stand in the corner, don't say nothing to nobody else. We having some real conversations. So thank you so much.
Clean it up. Like she said, clean it up.
Clean it up. And you might have to get on your knees. You might have to
And
get some
scrub that
scrub and
thing.
scrub
Mhm.
that thing. Because like you said, if you spilled some milk, you wonder where the funk coming from. Well, it's up in the cracks.
It's in the crevice.
It's in the you're gonna have to open it up. Almost had to go. Talk to me, sister girl.
Hey, sister girl, this is Brenda. You know I'm gonna keep it real.
Hi, I'm Brenda.
In order for you to know something, you got to tell somebody something.
Amen.
And then when you know better, you can do better.
That's true.
And sometimes when you be trying to say something, somebody says, shut up, shut up. So you be speaking all these things in your mind. But you, as you said, you got to press down to stand up. And when you stand up, you're going to look up. And when you look up, look somebody straight in the face, eyeball to eyeball, and say what you got to say.
Amen.
It's all about freedom, because we ain't going back.
That's what we not.
It's a new day. It's a new time. It's a new generation. And these young children these days, they speak their mind, and they tell it like it is. They got all this internet, and they know how to work those computers and get all the information and everything. I tell you one thing, we got some smart young people rising up now. And it's a new generation. We ain't taking no stuff. Nobody gonna step on your toes and they expect you not to holler, or we gonna holler and say something.
Right.
It's time to holler, say it loud.
Hootie
We all gonna be proud. Red, yellow, black, and white. They all precious in His sight. Hey, Charlie.
Hi, I'm Brenda.
Hey, sister girl.
Hey, sister girl.
That's a break of day.
Hey, you better catch it.
Vitamin D, baby.
Yeah.
What's up?
Show you right.
That is
you already know the rest of the story. Show you right for real. It's the real deal.
Look, they up here throwing up. They said, I love her.
Oh, no, they didn't.
Listen, okay.
Spread love, joy, peace, and happiness. And soul, baby, soul. We all got a soul. It needs to be jump started, like you have to recharge your battery. You got to recharge the battery with some vitamin D, baby.
You better talk that talk, baby.
It's a necessity.
Okay? You can't survive without it.
You already know the real deal. I just had to holler at the girl.
All right, sister girl. Thank you for calling back.
You.
Love you. Till next time.
Tell you right.
Blow your mind all the time.
Tell
That's
you
Brenda
right.
Joyce. Oh, so fine. Happy birthday to Miss Aunt Brenda. Turned 75. Was it Saturday or Friday? Which was in the last week, within the week.
Happy belated birthday.
Happy belated birthday. Well, I really enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much, Charlotte, for calling in.
Of course.
You know, this was really impromptu.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And you know, we got to do it again. And you know, have more of the topics. You're not going to be driving. You'll be able to be, you know, doing whatever. But I think it was great and refreshing to hear the voice, and then to definitely have family call in. So that was good.
Amen. It was. Put some things into perspective.
Now, we only don't just watch, but we need to listen. And so I want to thank all of you for tuning in and pulling up on some vitamin D. Now, I told you, this is what we're going to do. Tuesdays and Thursdays, live at 5. Now, I didn't stretch it out today. So we on Facebook. They also looking at us on the YouTube. Then we're going to go to the IG, but it's happening. What do I say? Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, life is hard. I think it's a good time to live on purpose and for a purpose. So I want to welcome you. If you felt inspired, if you felt entertained, if you felt like you got some information, can you tell somebody else that Dawn Dai got a podcast and it's live, Vitamin D with Dawn Dai. You can play back and listen wherever you may be. It would mean the world to me because this is my baby. And also, if you would like to be a guest or you have any interest of being a guest, I want to encourage you to send me an email, vitamin D at dawndaispeaks.com. I said it's vitamin D at dawndaispeaks.com. I would love to hear from you. And thank you so much to my sister Charlotte who joined on. Charlotte, now you're the first guest that I've actually had or another person
I'm honored.
In. You know, as a guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I do this thing and I'm going to continue to do this. If you have somebody, I don't know, just let me know. Is there anybody that you would like to pass the baton to, who you would like to reach out that perhaps could have a good message, a good word, or just a great guest to be on Vitamin D?
Let me ponder on that.
All right. Well, I
You put me
encourage.
on the spot real quick, Dawn Day.
You got to step into the light, baby. All right, but Charlotte, you are in Michigan and you have your own hair business. You are a hairstylist, amongst other things. Where can the good people follow you and to book you for your services? Now,
They
notice
can
if you give
follow.
your number out, the whole world gonna know it. But if
I
people
am
do
not
it,
giving my number out,
okay.
but they can follow me on Instagram at the hair snob, at the_hair_snob. And I am local in downtown Royal Oak.
And is there a Google Voice number or any number they can call you just now at if they wanted to make an
They can
appointment?
actually reach out to me. There's a contact button on my Instagram page, and you can press that button and contact me there or DM me. I just give me at least 24 hours to get back to you.
All right, there you have it. If you're in Detroit, if you're in the Detroit metro area in Royal Oak, reach out to the hair snob. That's the_hair_snob. Her name is Charlotte Henry. And yeah, she can get you hooked up from your neck up. Okay. Hey.
Ow.
Ow. Latasha said, will you come to California? Latasha wants you to get the hair done. Reese coming in mad late. Reese, we about to go, girl. You want to say hi to Reese? Reese is watching,
Hey,
Charlotte.
Reese. Hey, Reese.
Reese,
Hey,
she said, hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Hey, girl, hey. So I'm Dawn Dai, and it's time to call it a day. Again, thank you so much.
This
Make
was
sure you
great.
see the email. Thank you, Charlotte. We fighting for
Very,
the
very
dream.
good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's going to be great. It is great.
Right, because we said
Remember
that's
we
our
said-
self-talk, right?
Yes, it is great.
Speak it as it is. Speak it as it is.
Yes.
So you guys, thank you so much. I told you we're going to be live at 5 Tuesdays and Thursdays. Make sure you get those resources and information. Make sure you keep inspiring and make sure you remember to take a chance on yourself because we're here for a good time, not a long time. Now, if you want to keep up with us and keep up with everything we're doing with Vitamin D, make sure you check us out on all platforms. Vitamin D with Dawn Dai. Follow on social media at Vitamin D Dawn Dai. And if you want your own personal vitamin D, that be me, baby. You can follow me on all social media at Dawn Dai Speaks. You know, I always say, I'm in the business of making dreams come true. And I damn sure ain't gonna forget about mine. So until next time, family, always remember, you are your greatest asset.
Get your vitamin D right here with me and get excited about your life.